Guys, this is insane. Last night at midnight, reports came out of a power plant in Moss Landing, California, erupting in flames.
Fire tonight at one of the largest battery storage facilities in the world. In Moss Landing, this fire began just after 3 o'clock this afternoon.
So Moss Landing is just south of San Francisco, substantially north of Los Angeles. Apparently early on, it wasn't looking too crazy.
This fire broke out earlier this afternoon, but we thought it was over.
We thought it was over. By 4 o'clock, it looked like crews had things under control. But by 5:15, things changed dramatically. Smoke coming through vents in the roof, and then this fire exploded.
It's so bad. Apparently the air is toxic to breathe.
We are now being told that people nearby need to close their doors and windows, turn off their air systems, air conditioners.
I actually feel bad for this guy. They want him to stand directly next to the giant plume of toxic smoke. That's like one giant cancer plume. Reaching that 1,000 subscriber threshold would do a ton to make this content more sustainable and help me expand on the format. If you could like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, I would really appreciate you. In response, the sheriff's office has issued straight up evacuation orders. Apparently, it's for Elkhorn Slough, north of Malra Road, and Monterey Dunes Way. I mean, basically just the whole region. Look at all of this. This is a massive area that's been issued to evacuate. This is wild. It never ends for California.
Right now, evacuations are underway, but the big concern is the toxic smoke and where all that smoke is going.
Lithium-ion battery fires can release toxic gases that can be poisonous and combustible. These gases can cause respiratory problems, skins, burns, and eye irritation. In confined spaces, they can even be lethal. It makes fighting those fires very difficult because they can burn at extremely high temperatures. The hazardous fumes make it difficult for firefighters to approach them, and first responders have to continue flooding the system with water until the remaining cells are cool enough to prevent reignition, because these batteries will just reignite. And apparently there is a substantial risk of cancer from a lot of different types of batteries and the fumes that they release into the atmosphere. What do you guys think? What's a worse ecological disaster, this battery fire or those fires down in LA?
This is happening at the Vistra power plant in Moss Landing along Highway 1 between Santa Cruz and Monterey. Highway 1 currently shut down in both directions in that area.
It's going to be a long night for a whole lot of people.
The California Highway Patrol closed State Route 1 at Salinas Road with no estimated time for reopening.
A Monterey County supervisor spoke to just how serious the situation is.
Well, there's no way to sugarcoat it. This is, it's just a disaster is what it is, and it's extremely disconcerting.
Fire crews, EMS, and hazmat responded, seemingly letting the fire burn itself out.
NBC's Jocelyn Moran is as close to this fire as the authorities will allow her. Jocelyn, this is a major battery storage plant. What's the latest?
So we're talking about lithium-ion batteries here. That is the concern. What is being pushed out into the air? That's why you're seeing evacuation orders issued in this area.
It looks like there's not too much of a risk of it spreading to other structures, but what happens when that toxic smoke cools and comes back down to the earth and everybody's soil and their yards? Water reservoirs, rivers.
It's inside a concrete building. There are a lot of batteries in there, and it's burning pretty much uncontrolled inside that facility.
Maybe it's just me, but I feel like the ecological risk of all of that smoke affecting the atmosphere and the local ecosystem is much more of a reason to fight the fire right now than whether or not it's going to spread to other structures.
Here, we don't know the cause of the fire, and we have yet to hear from the fire department. We did just get a statement from the Vistra power plant. I want to read that. It's saying in part, quote, "Our top priority is the safety of the community and our personnel, and Vistra deeply appreciates the continued assistance of our local emergency responders."
The nature of this facility does make it a fifth-generational warfare target, and so I do think it is a relevant question to consider whether or not foul play was involved here.
We have learned that there will also be a 10 a.m. press conference tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get some more information there.
I can't find any evidence of this press conference even existing anywhere on the internet, so I'm not sure they held it.
And we were just at the incident command post where there are officials from several agencies along with the county. The county communications director tonight telling us fire crews are battling this fire and will be into the night.
And we have a tremendous amount of resources here from the fire department as well as law enforcement to manage this incident. So it's a complex incident which requires a very tactical approach to fighting this kind of fire.
The primary concern is now air quality due to the chemical composition of the smoke. Vistra Energy reported that all site personnel was safely evacuated and that the cause of the fire remains under investigation. In a statement to Cron 4, Vistra Energy releases the following. There is an ongoing fire at our Moss Landing power plant site. Our top priority is the safety of the community and our personnel, and Vistra deeply appreciates the continued assistance of our local emergency responders. Earlier this afternoon, Vistra personnel called for assistance from the North Monterey Fire District after a fire was detected in the 300 MW Phase 1 energy storage facility at the Moss Landing power plant site. All personnel were safely evacuated. 1,500 people were forced to evacuate as smoke engulfed the area. Local schools and offices have been closed due to the safety concerns and the air quality. You know, I was wondering what all of this mismanagement and letting these fires burn has done to California's green initiative, right? And how clean they've been. Oh, this is wild. California wildfires emit carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases that contribute to climate change. Whatever, right? In 2020, California wildfires released 112 to 127 million metric tons of CO2, which was almost twice the amount of carbon dioxide reductions made in the previous 18 years. With these 2024 wildfires being even bigger than back in 2020, add this massive battery fire on top of it, California is an ecological disaster zone. The crazy thing is it's due to their own institutional failures, and they can't hide it from their leftist voter base. It's the red pill of California is what it is, and the left is horrified. Mike Madrid, a Republican political consultant, when interviewed by Politico, was talking about the Latino Democrat base in a lot of California's purple districts, and he's saying they finally left the bad relationship where this person is telling them over and over again, I understand you, I get your needs, I hear what you're telling me, but then does not produce over and over again. And now they're finally saying, you know what, I'm out. In many ways, that's worse for the Democrats because they're not going to be able to get those voters back until they establish trust. So there's a really big burden on them, especially when the primary driver of affordability is housing. It's not like you can solve this by the midterms. See, and that was a couple months ago before all of these failed management policies hit Californians like a ton of bricks. For decades, Republicans have tried and failed to end Democrats' near monopoly on power in the nation's most populous state. This time, they insist the conditions are ripe for a reckoning. Is California not ripe for a reckoning, though? I mean, the entire year of 2024 was a giant expose on exactly what Democrats do with their supermajority, which is completely failed policies that just make things worse. And instead of actually helping the issues they claim to desire to help, they throw gasoline on the forest brush they failed to clear out. Look at Axios trying to cover more than a week after the Palisades fire erupted, and with 3 major infernos still burning, and a new battery fire producing toxic plumes of smoke into your atmosphere, Republicans are still flooding the zone with allegations of gross mismanagement by California Democrats. Are they wrong? And I'm sorry, it's not just Republicans, it's super hyper leftist celebrities too.
If it is true that Gavin Newsom is the absolute blithering idiot that I believe he is in the way he has handled fire management in this state again and again and again and again, this isn't a wake-up call. This is the kind of thing they have tribunals for.
I mean, we have a mayor who cut the budget of the fire department in California by over $17 million. Fire is the biggest hazard in Los Angeles. Why would you cut that budget?
In 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on fire.
Well, the whole state is just so poorly managed. It's so frustrating and confusing, and then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great. You're out of your fucking mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Personally ruined it.
How the hell does Gavin Newsom or the Democrat Party of California come back from something like this? This most recent report by Jack Smith, the DOJ released, imploded his entire future career. Come check out why up top. An undercover journalist for the O'Keefe Media Group just exposed an entire Clinton insider network embedded in the intelligence community. Check it out over here, guys.